Hi Cancer, and welcome to your reading. Okay, so what does Cancer need to know? Wait. What does Cancer need to know? Come on, Spirit. Come on, Cancer. Don't be so stubborn. What does Cancer need to... Okay, Cancer, you already know I don't want to see the cards before when they flipped out of the deck before I place them. Not it. This one goes. Wait. This is main or thigh message. Okay, so I had it right. Not it. Side. This is main or side. Side. This is this. Okay, what's the last thing for what Cancer needs to know? What's the... Good. I also don't like when Spirit does that. Just double checking your flow. Are there any other side messages for Cancer? Alright, Cancer, let's see what we have for you. You have the King of Water, Self, Nine of Air, Nine of Fire. Oh, you got two kings on the board, King of Water and King of Earth. Six of Earth, Five of Fire, and Thought. Ooh. Yeah, just off the energy, general energy, like I can't even put this into words. One, you're living your authentic self, but at the same time, you're doing what you do for the sake of others and yourself. Because you're in the King of Water energy. King of Water is someone, he's a good man in the poor. He's a good man in the storm. He is the support system. key. The current energy you're in is, even with that, it's hard to put into words. You're highly intellectual, but at the same time, crap. Alright. Usually the King of Water is someone with high emotional intelligence, but you have high emotional intelligence when it comes to understanding yourself, not so much when it comes to understanding others. Like, there's a little bit of mismatch there, if that makes sense to you, Cancer. But at the same time, when someone you know is going through emotional distress, you have no problem listening. You have no problem being their support system, their emotional leader. Like, if they're going through a crisis, help them navigate their way through it. You're not going to sit there and nurture them the same way of the Queen of Water would, but you will use your emotional understanding of the situations to help them come up with the best solution. Yeah, you're more of the problem solver than someone who gives reassurance when it comes to high stress or emotional issues. You're able to be yourself in your natural environment, and then in the environment that you find yourself in. You are able to live your truth. I'm hearing with little to no restrictions. Like, if there's something you want to do, if there's something you want to be, if there's something you want to say, you're not going to get challenged on it, because it's just the way you are, and people around you know that. Now, are you always finding ways to improve yourself? I'm hearing hell yeah. Because to not grow and change and be a better version of yourself is to be stagnant, and that's something you never want to do. That's something you never want to be. You don't want to be the person that's known to be stuck in their old ways. And it's strange, because like I said, the environment you find you're in, and it's like, oh, that's just Cancer being Cancer, but at the same time, sorry about that, Cancer. But like I was saying, if you were to say something, do something, oh, it's just Cancer being Cancer, but at the same time, the environment you find yourself in, although they understand it's just you being you at this moment, if you were to make a change about yourself, the people in your environment would be all for it. Now, what serves as your strength is that you're always changing your mind about something. Not to say it in a bad way, you're not being held hostage or held captive by your current mind state and never allowing it to grow. I'm hearing you're bombarded with ever-changing possibilities and never... Alright, again, this is hard to put into words with what I'm over here seeing, because it's like you see every possible outcome, you know. it comes across that you see every possible outcome. You can see things from multiple perspectives, but at the same time, you're not attached to any of them. You know, at any given moment, you know, at any given moment, any of the outcomes that you see can come true. All right, so say for example, you are learning a new craft, you're learning a new skill. You can see all the potential outcomes where it takes you 1 month, takes you 2 months, takes you 3 months, factoring in your outside responsibilities, how they can help you or how they can hinder you. You see every possibility of how all things in your life can either help or support you, or a combination of the two, and learning what it is you're learning. But you're not attached to any outcome. You're not attached to any time frame. You'll finish the course. You'll finish the project when you're finished, and it serves as your strength because this way of thinking, it helps to keep you in alignment with what it is you're meant to do. You're not attached to any particular outcome, setting up the risk for disappointment and feelings of failure. For you, there's no such thing. It's more of divine timing. If something didn't happen yet, you have the understanding to know it's not time yet. And as far as ever-changing perspectives, your consciousness and awareness is always growing and expanding. So you can see things from multiple angles, and although you're not attached to any particular point of view, it helps you see a picture as a whole, and not just the sum of his parts. Now, in your present moment, you have the 9 of fire. You're dedicated and devoted to what it is you do. And like I said before, you don't do it for fame, recognition, or attention. You're not looking for praise or acknowledgement. Gratitude would be nice, but that's not what you're in it for. You're taking the time to work on you, but there's also something else. There's something that you're doing. You're taking the time to work on it, grow its potential, expand on it. I'm also hearing build an empire. So for some of you, if you have a successful career or even an entrepreneur, you are taking the time to grow your skills, master your skills, and build upon what it is you already know, because the card is playing out both ways in your present moment. You're working on yourself while working on whatever it is you're doing. And like I said, you're not attached to any particular outcome or time frame, which gives you all the time in the world, or it may actually help you finish faster because you're not devoted or dedicated to it, because you're not attached to a time frame. So that can even help you finish faster, giving time and attention to what it is you're focusing on as much as you can in the present moment, and not worrying about how much time you can give to it the following day. But anyway, based on the energy that came out for you so far, there are 3 paths or courses of action you can take based on the present energy. The first being the King of Earth. You may be thinking about taking another risk, because you're someone who's reliable, dependable, You don't do things without a reason. You don't jump into a situation without taking a step back and analyzing the potential gain versus without taking a step back and looking at what you will gain versus what you might be giving up. I'm hearing nothing worth having comes without risk, but that hasn't always been the case with you, Cancer. At least it doesn't feel that way based off this card. Because I'm also hearing you have ways of getting what you want without risking a damn thing. No matter what, you always get the outcome you deserve. Or at least the outcome you worked for. So you may have been working on yourself, or you may have been working on what it is you're doing, to the point where even if it seems like a risk for the next person, it's not a risk to you because you have skills, you had the time, you mastered your skills, you mastered your craft as much as you were able, so you're not risking anything by pursuing it, or even turning it into a career. If some of y'all actually are entrepreneurs or are entrepreneurs. But for right now, you may be taking a risk, something that is considered a risk for you. Because this doesn't come across that you're hesitating, it's more of you're taking a longer period of time than you usually would to make. I'm hearing to make an ethical decision. For some of you, may even be putting boundaries around it, meaning that you will do it, you'll take the chance if you have X, Y, and Z, or if it meets your criteria, if it's worth what you might be losing. Because somehow all of a sudden you feel like you might be losing something if you take a chance on something, and usually that hasn't been, it doesn't come, and this card doesn't come across like it's been that way for you before, but now all of a sudden it feels like you may be losing something, you may be risking something. Some of you might not even be sure it's worth the risk. Because again, if it doesn't meet your criteria, you may not do it. Anyway, your second choice, of course, of action, you have the Six of Earth. I'm hearing bringing the family back together. You are building a safe community where all show love and support. Give to thyself as you give to others. I don't know, Cancer, you may already have your community, you may already have your family structure. For some of you who resonate with this path or course of action, it feels like something may be missing. Now, if that's true, for those of you who resonate with this path or course of action, where you feel like something's missing, don't get me wrong, you're not letting that slow you down or hold you back in any way, shape, or form. Okay, I definitely feel you making up the difference. Like, say, for example, you have your own community, you have people that grow the food, people that harvest the food, people that deliver the food, people that package the food, people that deliver the food, make sure everybody has what they need. Your community may be missing one of those elements. Say, for example, a person that delivers the food to make sure that everybody has what they need. So you make up the difference by setting up times and dates for everybody to come and get their fair share, so they have food for the week. I'm hearing one person don't stop the show, but at the same time, it would be easier if you had extra support. Either which way, with or without this person, I do still see you doing what you gotta do, taking care of your community that you built for yourself, friends and family, as they take care of you and help support you and help. I'm also hearing help lead you, so you may help lead them in some aspects, and they may lead you in some aspects. But anyway, with this path, it's more of you're noticing that something's missing. You're still doing what you gotta do, making up the difference for what you don't have, or you may be lacking at the time, but you're taking care of your community, and your community is taking care of you. Last but not least, you have the 5 of fire. Cancer, what the heck just happened? What the heck just happened? It's usually with the fixed signs that has a plot twist. It's usually with the fixed signs, Aquarius, Virgo, Scorpio, and Leo. They're the ones that usually have the plot twist. With the five of fire here, for some of y'all this can be external, but for the vast majority of you, I feel like it's more of internal. There's something you want to do or something you want to say, but at the same time, you know it's a bad idea. It's not worth taking a chance on. For some of you, you may be going back and forth in your head and having an internal struggle. I'm hearing your mind knows it's a stupid decision. Don't even go there. Clinging on to what no longer serves you. Now, for those of y'all where this is external, where you actually do meet up with somebody, I'm hearing trying to resolve a conflict. I can't advise you about what to do, but the way the energy is coming off, this person can be argumentative. Loves to fight. Just want to hear you say that you is wrong. Or may simply want nothing to do with you and wondering after all this time. I don't know how long it's been for y'all, whether it's been days, weeks, months, years, I don't know. If it has been a long time, they may get pissed off with you just for showing up again, especially if it has been a long time since they heard from you or spoken to you. Like, now you want to come and fix this when I'm getting all my life? But again, for some of you it's external, some of you it is internal. Some of y'all already know it's a bad idea. Don't talk to this person, stay away from this person. They're not worth handling business with. There's no point hashing things out. Some of y'all already know it's just more of an internal battle where you're fighting yourselves, trying to remember to keep your peace. Now, no matter what path or course of action you take, you still have thought. find this confusing though. It might make a little more sense to want to do the clarification, because with thought here, it connects more with the nine of air, your strength, than anything else. You're changing your mind about something. The way you thought about things in the past is not how you view things anymore. Because remember, it plays to your strength that you have. You see the whole picture, and not just as parts, piece by piece. You see everything that has to do with the situation from every possible angle. So you're changing your mind about something. You have a new level of understanding. And a commitment to an idea. But I'm hearing that's all it is, an idea. You want to build on it, expand on it. Have it come into fruition. So this may also speak to the 9 of fire as well, with whatever it is you're doing. Because like I said, you're working on yourself and what it is you're doing. Whether it be a career, your craft, or if you're working on yourself. So if you are working on yourself and you have a new idea for starting something or doing something, you're not sitting on your ass. You're making it happen. You're not sitting on your ass. You're having the idea for it, and now you want to bring it to fruition. You're going out and doing the work to make it happen. You're taking your thoughts and putting it into action. But at the same time, this card makes me a little bit nervous, because there's something else there. One moment. Let me do the clarification. Let's clarify, please, for Cancer. Can we please clarify for Cancer? Anything else? Alright, one more Cancer. Let me just mix these up a little bit. Because I don't like them, but Spirit, we're not doing this, please. I don't like when you pop them out like that. If they're meant to come out, please guide me to it. Not it. Wait, this goes. Alright. Air, fire, or water. I didn't even notice that you have all elements: air, fire, water, and earth. This goes where? Alright, which earth? Not it. By message. Wait, goes on which one? Don't need it. Okay, starting with thought, 9 of. Okay. With 9 of air being clarified by harmony. See, I didn't pick up on that, and honestly, I didn't even Yeah, I didn't initially pick up on this. The more your consciousness expands and grows, there may have been some conflict on your ego, because like I said, now that you're seeing things from a bird's eye point of view, you're seeing the whole picture, but your mind might be stuck on seeing things one way, like your point of view on something, which comes into conflict. It comes into conflicts between how you know things either are or were, and how you believe them to be. With harmony being here, you have to it's asking you to let go of preconceived notions about people, places, or things. Your ego is just based off of past experiences and your interpretation of events, which are influenced by your emotional state at the time the event occurred. Just because that's how you perceive it to be true and how you felt about it at that time does not necessarily make it, and it doesn't necessarily make it an objective reality, just your subjective point of view. And yes, Spirit may be asking you to come into a deeper connection and harmony with your conscious awareness, and shift away from the ego. Because again, this plays to your strengths, but it's possible that some things there may be some shifts that you're limiting yourself on because you still have your own preconceived notions about certain things, places, or people, or even certain beliefs. It may be time to let them go or to adjust, to allow yourself to have a higher level of awareness and let your conscious mind expand, your consciousness expand. Aww. I like this. This one is coming out more and more. With the Six of Earth being clarified by light, you're not shining light on yourself. It's more of being shined on your community as a whole. Everyone shines bright in their own way, but no one shines brighter than the other. You shine bright in certain aspects, but we all have a role to play. We all do for ourselves, we all do for each other. And it's the individuality. It's like you bring your individuality together to form a collective and form a perfect system. And like I said, with the Six of Earth, you do acknowledge that something may be missing, or there's something that you may be missing. There's a role that's not being fulfilled, but at the same time, that's not dimming the light of you. That's not dimming the light of people around you. That's not dimming the light of your community. Y'all still glow and shine bright, working together as one. But it goes deeper than that. It's like you all have... Sorry about that. The last thing I was going to say about this Cancer is that it does go deeper than that. For those of you that are spiritual, it's not that just that you have your own community. And all of y'all fulfill a certain role. You have formed a spiritual community where you don't all practice the same way, you don't all believe the same things, but y'all do have understanding that but you all live with certain lifestyles. Y'all both live, y'all all walk on a spiritual path. You're not surrounded by people that don't get you, don't understand you, don't question what it is you do or what it is you believe or the legitimacy of it. In a sense, y'all create a safe haven for yourselves. I'm hearing even from the people that take spirituality a little bit too far, and honestly, in this day and age, some people do take it a little bit too far, especially online. And you're wondering what the heck they talking about. Especially those that have been that's been living a spiritual lifestyle or been raised with it for years. But anyways, you have the 5 of fire, clarified by material and spiritual prosperity, which is now this makes sense. Otherwise, you never would have went back. Okay. For those of you who resonated with the 5 of fire, whether it be internal or external, you know there's something to gain by going back to this person or working with this person. It's not so much you want to form a new connection with them or rehash the past. It's more in a sense of burying the hatchet, because there's something to gain by you two being in each other's lives. There's something to gain by you two working together. And honestly, that could be anything. For some of you, I'm hearing if you mind meld, you come up with brand new ideas. Brand new ideas and thought processes you never would have thought of before. For those of you who have a small business, or you both have a small business, or they have small business, and or however which way it goes, it's like if you two come together, what you do and what they do would actually complement each other, make what you're doing bigger and better. But above all of that, there's something to learn from each other, a brand new perspective. It's like someone who's highly intellectual comes into connection with someone who's highly emotional. It doesn't seem like it'll work, but put you two together, create a whole new perspective entirely. That's a perfect mixture of that's the perfect mixture of both. You have someone that comes up with ingenious ideas, and someone that's good with their hands and considered a master craftsman. Put you two together. You're the ingenuity. You're the brain behind the plan, whereas they're the ones that build what it is you're saying. They're the one that actually enact the plan that you came up with. Some way, somehow, you two complement each other. And with spiritual prosperity, you two have a lot to learn from each other. There's something you two can do that no one else does, or no one else can. And honestly, I feel like it comes across, if it wasn't for that, if you didn't already know that, or at least have that way of thinking, you wouldn't even be bothered wondering if it's a good idea to even talk to this person. Now, with thought being clarified by moving on, this too is also interesting. Because you have a brand new way of looking at something. You have an idea that you want to enact and bring it into fruition, but being clarified by moving on. I'm hearing revisiting the past or letting it go and reframing. See, this is a mental card as well. You want to leave something behind, but the only way out is through. You see how this person over here is walking out of the darkness? I'm not sure if you can see on you. The person walked out of the darkness and into the light. What Spirit is giving me is that you want to move on from something. It's time to let it go, but the only way out is through. You can't let go of the situation. You can't let go of the darkness until you actually walked through it. Recognize it, understand it. Don't become it, but see where it originated from. So you can move on in peace and never walk through it again. So with your new way of seeing things, understanding, because again, you have a new level of conscious awareness. Not to mention you're working on yourself. It changed your way of thinking about something. It's not to say that there was something you was avoiding, but you have a brand new idea you want to bring into fruition, but you can't. But it seems like you can't make that happen, or you're not as able to do that, not the way in which you want, until you move on away from something first. It could be a way of thinking, it could be moving away from how you understand, how you believe to understand something, because again, your conscious awareness is maybe limited because it conflicts with some of your thoughts and beliefs in your ego and mind. But if you were to let that go, if you were to move on fully and wholeheartedly, you'd be able to act out this idea in peace and in a way you didn't expect, or even have an outcome you didn't expect. Interesting reading, Cancer. But you know what? Let's look at your side messages. You have the Ace of Air, Queen of Water, 10 of Air, and emotional withdrawal. There's a brand new idea and thought process. Someone is highly intellectual. They're emotion based. And this does not, I want to say it's you, Cancer, but this does not feel like you. Because remember, the energy that you first came out in with the King of Water, you're highly intellectual, yes, but Your emotional intelligence when it comes to yourself is high. The emotional intelligence when it comes to understanding others, recognizing the emotions of others, it's not as strong, it's not as high. You can help them navigate their situation to ease their emotional distress, but to provide reassurance, that's not something you're easily able to do. But this Queen of Water is showing up as someone who is emotionally nurturing, caring. They recognize the thoughts and emotions in others without you having to say too much words. So, yeah, this Queen of Waters is not you. What I am getting is that with the Ace of Air and the Ten of Air, someone has a brand new idea, or at least a whole new different understanding of this Queen of Water. You thought you knew who they were or what they were about. But it's kind of like seeing them in a different light. They may have went through a transformation, because with the Ten of Air being here, it speaks of going through a transformation, stepping into your own, not being overly concerned with how you're perceived by others. So this Queen of Waters could have went through a transformation, and this is how you're seeing them now, or this is how they are now. They don't care about how they're seen, they don't care about how they're perceived. They went through a transformation and they're still growing. And either you have a new way of thinking and viewing them, a new level of understanding when it comes to them, or they have a new level of understanding themselves. But also with emotional withdrawal here, someone pulled back from the situation. Whoever, they're not as attentive, they're not as caring, they're not as invested. So if this is not you, this could either be someone in your community or the person that was related to the Five of Fire. And if I were to say, being that your community, the community you find yourself in, is your community, logically and also energetically, I would have to say it would be the person associated with the Five of Fire. Because again, for you to even be speaking to this person again, even though you're going back and forth in your head, you wouldn't be talking to them unless there was something to get out of it. This is them on their side. They went through a transformation. They are the Queen of Waters. And either you have a new way of viewing them, understanding them, your thinking about them has totally changed, or how they view and think about themselves has totally changed. They pulled back from the situation. They are no longer invested. It's like all that energy, where did it go? They poured it into themselves. That's probably how they went through the transformation to become the Queen of Water. So yeah, side message comes across more for the people that resonated with the Five of Fire. Because if you was wondering if it was a good idea to speak to this person, or even try. Again, this is either how they are now or this is how you're now viewing them. But anyway, Cancer, this is what I have for you so far. I do hope you liked and possibly gained some insight from the reading. Now, if you did, please do hit the like and subscribe button, as there will be more videos to come. That being said, I shall catch you in the next one. Bye, Cancer.